Hello, folks. Hope everybody's doing good today. Another hot day, so I'm indoors again in front of the AC. And today I'm going to go down a different little bunny trail. Most people don't even want to talk about it or think it's true. The subject of UFOs. And the main reason I bring it up is because a lot of these government officials have said they can't release all the UFO files because it would destroy civilization. I mean, financially, uh, business, and they even said religion. I'm like, if there's anything at all that can shake your faith, maybe you should check your faith. You think? I I don't care. They tell me I'm not going to ever stop loving God, and Jesus saved us all, and there's no doubt in my mind about that. So why is it so hard to believe that there's somebody from another planet? I mean, I had to Google it and make some notes here. There are 20 sextillion planets in this universe. That's a 2 with 23 zeros. That's a lot of planets. And you're telling me our special little Earth is the only one that could possibly have life on it? I find that rather arrogant. And, you can't say, well, God didn't create those. Yes, He did. Hebrews 11:3. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the Word of God. It didn't say world, it said worlds, plural. So that removes all doubt there on that, that argument's over, in my opinion. And, there's like 65% of people, 65% of Americans believe life exists on other planets. So I'm not in the minority here. Really? And so 34% don't believe in UFOs, but heck, 7% of Americans don't believe in God. That's 23 million people that don't even believe in God. I think they got more to worry about than UFOs. And whether you're aware of it or not, the government has been releasing UFO files since March, I think. They've released 3 tranches of videos and files, and I couldn't find a total, but I would say at least 200 or 300 have been released so far. This third tranche, there was 72. I'm like, I wonder how many files the government has. Well, Mr. Google says, actually it's the government website, war.gov, says the government has tens of millions of reports. So they aren't all some dude on a tractor in his coveralls in the mountains. These are reputable pilots and Air Force crew and officers. I mean, the government has told you, and politicians have told you, they're real. They're out there. We don't know what they are. Well, the government didn't say that. I'm saying that. I don't know what they are or where they're from or what their intentions are, but they're there. I mean, you can't dispute it. You can bury your head in sand and say la 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 la. I don't want. Most people don't want to believe that. If it's so hard to believe, they just don't believe it, which is really not very smart, in my opinion. I mean, they'll say, well, have you ever seen a UFO? I'll say, have you ever seen God? So you tell me you don't believe in God? It's not the same, but it is kind of the same. Nobody's seen heaven. You don't think there's a heaven? I'm a firm believer. We're all going to heaven. Well, most of us. But, excuse me. I'm pretty sure heaven could be right here for all I know. I think it's in a different dimension. And same could be true with these UFOs. They could be interdimensional instead of extraterrestrial. We don't know. All we know is they're here. And if you, there's a lot of, well, some of the higher ups, they call them the graybeards, the ones that have been around for a while, in the Pentagon, they told Lou Elizondo, they said, "Don't worry about it, Lou. We already know what they are." He's like, "Oh, really? What are they?" "They're demons." I'm like, okay, well, that's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but show me the proof. I don't know. But Lou Elizondo, I just mentioned his name, so I'll go ahead and put this out there. He was the director of a Pentagon program studying UFOs called ATIP. It's the Advanced Aerial Threat Identification Program. And he kept trying to get these UFO sightings and all this information up to General Mattis at the time. And the bosses between him and Mattis wouldn't do it. They would just stop it. They're like, if he knows, then he can't say he doesn't know. So we're going to prevent him from having to confront that in the future. We just won't tell him. Well, that's real smart. So Lou Elizondo got mad and he quit. And then he can't tell what he learned during his time in that office because he had to sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which most people, I think everybody with top secret clearance has to, but I hope they were, before I forget, Lou said one time, he's been on so many interviews, podcasts and stuff, he said, everybody says, well, how's come all these videos are fuzzy and blurry and we can't get it? He said, I've seen clear 4K video, no doubt in your mind what it is, but whether the public will ever get to see it, who knows? In my mind, it's not your right to tell me what I can't see. It's you should tell me and let me decide. But they did a study back in the 70s or 80s or whatever, and they asked all these people, experts and religious scholars and all that, they sat in a room and said, list all the pros and cons of disclosure. And at the end of the meeting, they had a lot more cons than they had pros. So they decided, we're not going to do it. But the main reason I did this today is because I don't understand why that would cause you to lose your faith anyway. What's that got to do with your faith? You're going to quit believing in God because there's life on another planet or another dimension or whatever? What's that got to do with it? I don't know. Oh, well, thanks for watching. I'm not crazy. Thanks for watching. Press that thumbs up button to like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with your family and friends. And I will see you next week.